And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and spoiler review of Captain Marvel. Marvel's Captain Marvel, the 21st film. Now, I gotta say again, spoiler review here, there's spoiler talk. So, I'm just gonna break it down to the parts that I like the most and spoil the most of the movie. And, well, you've been warned. So, let's talk about Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, played by Brie Larson. We get to meet her in space. She's part of the Kree Force, which is kind of like a galactic police. I think probably like in the same vein as the Nova Corps, but a little bit more different. I mean, they probably handle the supreme hard stuff to deal with. And plus, they usually take care of their own territory because, you know, so they're in the middle of the war between the Kree and the Skrulls. Now, the Skrulls are a bunch of shape-shifting creatures that go to planet to planet, try to conquer it, and, you know, do whatever they want. Henceforth. So the Kree literally job is to basically stop them. So we get to meet Carol and her team. They go find, they're looking for one of their members of their team who got captured or who's trying to get information about the Skrulls, and try to bring her back to his team. So they go looking for him because they haven't heard back from him for a couple of days now. So they get worried. They go after him. They get ambushed. Carol gets captured. And then we start seeing her flashbacks, you know, from, you know, her past. Moments of her childhood. Moments of her in the military because she's from the Air Force. You know, we do get to see her partner. Not her, like her love interest partner, but her partner in the military because she's an airline pilot. They always have two people, you know, flying the jets. We get to see Mar-Vell in this. Everybody thought it was Jude Law. Even I thought it would be Jude Law. It would be Mar-Vell who loses his powers and ends up giving his powers to Captain Marvel. Because that's how she ends up getting the powers. A big generator blows up and then she gets the powers. So, in this movie, Mar-Vell is actually a woman who's in disguise as like a higher commander than Captain Marvel herself in the military of Earth. So she's pretending to be a human, but she's Kree. So she's building like this hyperdrive machine to basically help her save the Skrulls. Yeah, that's what I just said. The Skrulls are basically the good guys in this movie, which is kind of weird. But, you know what? It's interesting. It's very different from what, you know, the comics are. Because obviously in the comics, the Skrulls are the bad guys. They are the shapeshifters. They're the ones who pretend to be, some of them pretend to be Iron Man, Captain America. And nobody knew about that in the comic. And then when it came that they revealed themselves, they were unstoppable and it was hard to beat them. So, how does this affect them now that they're good guys? Especially Ben Mendelsohn. His character... He's the general of the Skrulls. He just wanted Carol's information because she was a pilot who survived with Mar-Vell, the plane crash, and on Earth with that power source. So he wanted her information to see what he knew about her secret lab and about the Tesseract. The Tesseract is what powered the machine that Mar-Vell was building, and his family was being protected by Mar-Vell. So he wanted to make sure they were okay and they were, you know, so especially his wife and his child that he hasn't seen. So we got to see that. And we found out that his Mar-Vell's, you know, laboratory was literally in orbit of space around Earth. So the Kree go there. Well, Captain Marvel goes there thinking that the Skrulls are bad at that point. They have a big fight. She meets Fury. We get to find out about Fury. You know, how he's like, oh yeah, I'm new in the job. I'm kind of new in the job. You know, he's kind of maybe a year or two in the job. Coulson's literally a rookie in here. So we get to see him. We found out that Jude Law's character and basically his squad, that was Carol's squad, is working with Ronan, who we all know is working for Thanos to try to find the Infinity Stones, obviously. So we get to meet, you know, Carol starts finally putting the pieces back together for her memory. She kind of remembers what is what. She finally puts the pieces together, and we get to see her co-pilot, one of her military friends. We get to see her. They get to go to space. try to go to the lab, try to get the Tesseract back, and all hell breaks loose, literally. So, let's see what else. We get to meet Goose the Cat, which ends up being an alien, which is cool. And is also the reason that Nick Fury lost his eye. Remember how he said in, I think, Winter Soldier, he's like, the last time I trust somebody, I lost an eye. He trusts the cat too much, a little too much. It was too friendly with the cat. He's like, oh, you're very adorable. And boom, he got his eye scratched off. Even though he kind of got it badly damaged before that when he had a car chase with Carol. Because he didn't know at the time who Carol was. He didn't think, you know, if she was a threat or whatever. So that was before that. So we got to see that. The whole Ronin thing, to me, I thought it was just whatever, because he literally comes at the end of the movie. His whole ship, he's like, oh yeah, Jude Law's character says, oh yeah, come here, we need your help. Oh yeah, no problem. He come, he sees Captain Marvel, he's like, nah, let's just leave. And then he leaves, and then of course we all know he ends up dying in Guardians of the Galaxy anyway. So there's that, because remember, he takes the Power Stone and decides to betray Thanos and do it himself. So, and then of course he gets his butt whooped. We find out about the pager. We finally know about that damn pager that Nick Fury always carries. That was his pager for communicating with SHIELD members. But Carol took it from him at the beginning of the near the beginning of the movie, and said that, hey, listen, let me just take this from you just in case, because you're a little too I don't want you to, you know, betray me anytime soon. So she took it from him, and then at the end of the movie, she gets it back to him. Modifications, of course, or all the little satellite things on it. She says it works a couple of galaxies away. Meaning, she put a signal in that thing that's so powerful that she can hear it for like maybe 3-4 galaxies away from Earth. Which is insane. And she told him, specifically, contact me if there's an emergency. Now, you probably wonder when you saw that movie, okay, so why didn't she show up in the first Avengers? Well, because in the first Avengers, you know, he started the program, the Avengers. He got that name from her jet fighter pilot. You know, that was her nickname, as like her code name for flying jet. She was an Avenger. That's what he got the name from. So we got to see that, how he changed the phase 1 to the Avenger program or whatever it was. So we got to see that at the end. What else? We got to see, obviously, the end of the movie, which is the after credits. We got to see the Avengers literally trying to contact, you know, they found the pager. They don't know what's going on. They try to use it, and then the signal stops, and Captain Marvel shows up. Yeah. And like I said, Captain Marvel is beyond powerful. Like, literally, no joke powerful. This woman took out, like, it was like 4 big ships in space. She literally goes up there and blasts them all away like they were nothing. Like they were some mosquitoes. That's how powerful she was. It was crazy. And it was great. She sent Marvel back to, not Marvel, sorry. Jude Law's character back to his home planet, Kree. And so he's still alive. Who knows if he's still alive because of the dusting, but who knows. Well, maybe he'll come back eventually. Maybe before Revenge or something. But, yeah. And then the end of the last Avengers credit was just Goose the Cat, you know, spitting out the Tesseract because he swallowed it during the movie. So we got to see that. We got to see him use his tentacles because that's what he really is. He's an alien with tentacles. So it was pretty cool. Like I said, I do like this movie a lot. My main problem about this movie was the whole, yeah, let's use the Tesseract again, because that's literally how she got her powers. Literally how she got her powers. Wanda got her powers from the Mind Stone, and now Brie Larson gets her powers from the Tesseract itself. So it's like, okay, really, you had to use that again? But go figure. It was a cool way to do it, but still, because it literally powered the engine that Marvel was trying to work on. And then when they crashed, Jude Law's character tried to kill them. And then Carol blew it up. And then she absorbed the power of the Space Stone. And Captain Marvel was born. So we got to see that. And now we know where she is in space. She's somewhere in space taking the Skrulls to a place where they could live in peace. Because that's all they want. They just want to be in peace and be left alone. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like that part. kind of bummed out that we might not get the Skrull invasion. I don't know. You know, they might change their mind. Maybe the Skrulls are bad and they just pretended to be good the whole time. I just don't know. The way that they played off in the movie, where they were kind of like, they were good. They just want to be in peace. You know, Nick Fury was like friends with one of the Skrulls, especially Ben Mendelsohn's character. He was the main Skrull, and they were like buddies with each other at the end of it. So you never know. Maybe they're just pretending. Maybe they will infiltrate Earth again. Maybe they're still there. We just don't know. But for right now, they're good. And Carol took them off somewhere deep in space to protect them. Now, I don't know. We'll probably have to wait for Endgame to find out. Maybe they got dusted at the end of the snap. Who knows how far it can actually reach at the universe, maybe. Maybe she took them to another universe. Who knows? But now we know where she is. So when he contacted her, she literally got there pretty quick. Because the Avengers found it, and then in the after credit, the Avengers found it, and it was bleeping, and then it stopped, and she was right behind them. So it was like, how far was she from in space? That's pretty impressive. That's like Superman speed that she got back there that quick. Remember, Captain Marvel's beeper kind of reminds me of Superman's signal watch. You know, only Jimmy has it, and when only he can hear it in space. So how many galaxies where's she gone from? That's gonna be the question. But like I said, good movie. A couple of things here and there is like, okay, really? But still. Oh, by the way, the opening to this thing, you know how they has the Marvel logo with all the characters. They changed it for this time for Stan Lee. Oh, that was so cool. That was so, you know, respectful and honest, you know, about him. He had 2 after credits in this. He had 2 cameos in this thing. We got to see him on the bus doing his he was reading Mallrats. If you know what that is, that's a movie that Kevin Smith created, and that he was actually in that movie as a cameo. I think that was his first cameo, so that was pretty cool. So there you go. There you go. There's my Captain Marvel spoiler review. Hey man, like I said, this movie is fun. A couple of things I didn't like, but you know, the whole Ronin thing was a waste, and the Tesseract again. But Captain Marvel will always be one of my favorite superheroes of the Marvel world, and seeing her in action, I am so ready for her in Endgame. And also, her suit looks a little bit different now too. Maybe she changed it. Who knows? But I cannot wait. And knowing her, she's probably a lot more stronger now. Because remember, it took place in the 90s. This is 2019, and a whole different decade. So she could have trained herself somewhere. And yeah, it's gonna go down. So I feel sorry for Thanos. He might die in the next movie. So there you go. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie. What was your favorite part? What did you not like about it? Did you like Goose the cat? Because that cat was funny. And of course, obviously the whole tie-in with Nick Fury, the Eye, the Avengers, Marvel, the Tesseract, everything. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Thank you very much and have a good night.